At its August board meeting, the Reserve Bank held rates on hold. We were surprised about that. We expected that, given the very tight labour market, given the fact that the board had a very clear tightening bias, that we would see another rate hike. Having decided not to raise rates at the August board meeting and indicating that they now expect that inflation will be back within the 2 to 3% band by the end of 2025, and arguing that recent data is consistent with them reaching their target, I think the best view is to say that now rates will remain on hold. You know, it's quite ironical for us that the end of this cycle, as we're currently interpreting, has meant that rates are peaking at 4.1% back in June. Back in February, March, when we were talking to you about our outlook for rates, when rates were much lower than they peaked at, we said 4.1% by the May board meeting. So we were pretty close. But unfortunately, as you would have noticed in the tapes that we've done over the last few months, it's been quite an uncertain ride with pauses followed by very aggressive hikes, etc. But we think we're through that now, and we think that the next move will actually be down, and that's likely to come in the September quarter next year. That's pushing back that rate cut from the June quarter because the peak is lower now. And we're also starting to feel a bit more optimistic about the economy, particularly about the fact that the labour market remains very strong, which will tend to boost household incomes, which will mean that the profile for consumption is looking a little better than we had thought before. The Reserve Bank also indicated that they now believe that the link between tight labour markets and inflation may be a little different than they had been thinking in the past. Because if labour markets are tight and businesses have to raise wages, but if the demand in the economy is weak, then businesses may find trouble passing on those wage increases, and therefore the link between tight labour markets and inflation breaks down. And I think that's something we've seen globally, and is something that I think will dominate their thinking for the next year or so.